like to invite the children to come forward and all those who have childhood in their hearts to help us light the Hanukkah candles. About the same time of year that Christian children celebrate Christmas, Jewish children celebrate a holiday called Hanukkah. Some children are lucky enough to celebrate both, so I'm going to tell you about Hanukkah so you can celebrate both Christmas and Hanukkah. First, you should know about the word rebellion. That's when a group of people fight back after someone has been mean and unfair to them for a long time. Can you imagine if people in charge of making laws made it illegal to be a Christian and closed down our church? Wouldn't that be awful? And they stole all our stuff and broke down our walls? That would be very terrible, right? During Hanukkah, we remember the story about the Jewish rebellion against a very mean king. A long time ago, way before Jesus was born, King Antiochus of Syria ruled over the land of Israel. He didn't like the Jews because he thought they were too different from him and they didn't worship God the same way he did. He didn't know how to respect people who were different than he was. Actually, the Jews were peaceful people who just wanted to be left alone and practice their own religion in peace, just like Christians and Muslims and all other religions of the world. They just want to be left alone so they could practice their own religion peacefully, like we're doing right now. The Jews worshiped in a temple, sometimes called a synagogue. Maybe you've heard that word before. It's a fancy word for temple, which is like a Jewish church. And Antiochus, the king, ordered that the temple in Jerusalem should be spoiled and made dirty. Ugh. He wanted all the Jews to convert to the Greek way of observing religion, which was his way, and all the Jews who wouldn't obey would be punished and put in jail. Ooh, that sounds like a terrible thing. So the Jews were very angry, and they stood up to the mean king. The rebellion was led by a very brave Jewish man named Judah Maccabee and his 5 brothers. The Maccabees successfully led the rebellion against the king's army, and they won the war and freed all the Jews from jail. And when the war was over, and the Jews saw what the king's soldiers had done to the temple, they were very sad, because the place was a mess and very dirty, and lots of their things were destroyed. The place was no longer a holy place. They began to clean it up and rebuild the broken walls. They wanted to work day and night, but they were afraid they wouldn't be able to work in the darkness of nighttime. In those days, they could only have light at nighttime, not by simply flipping a switch like we do today to turn on the lights, but by burning special oil in a special cup that was especially made for being safe, for burning oil. You can't just burn any old oil in any old cup. It has to be a special oil in a special cup so it'll be safe. They only had a little bit of oil, only enough to last for one night. And besides, the repair job on the temple was so big, they needed enough light to last many nights. But guess what happened? Who knows? There was a miracle. There was a miracle. Do you know? The oil lasted 8 nights. That was a miracle. It lasted for 8 nights, and that allowed them enough light to work all night so they could finish up fixing the temple after the king's soldiers had damaged it. That's why we light 8 candles on the menorah, the special candle holder right there with the colorful candles on it. We light 1 additional candle per night for 8 nights. So we're going to take turns lighting our Hanukkah candles as we are grateful for our success for winning the war against the mean king. We continue to pray for the miracle of peace and religious freedom for all our brothers and sisters throughout the world who are suffering under unfair laws that make it impossible to practice their own religion in peace.